Tomorrow is the start of the 39th annual Iditarod sled dog race, beginning in Anchorage, Alaska, ending in Nome, 1,100 miles away. Now, to find out what this race is really about, we sent early show special contributor and super fan, as we like to call him. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for Tyler McGill. We sent him to meet one of the all-time greats. Good to see you this morning.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Nice to see you again. Tomorrow, 62 mushers will begin a journey that covers some of the most rugged terrain on the globe. And everyone will be trying to unseat one man, defending champion and winner of 4 consecutive Iditarods, Lance Mackey. I spent a few days with the champ in the heart of Alaska to get a feel for the sport and what it takes to win America's last great race.
It's arguably the most physically and mentally demanding race on the planet. The ultimate test of wills pitting man and their dogs against nature's fury, the Iditarod, a nearly 2-week, 1,100-mile odyssey across the barren landscape between Anchorage and Nome, Alaska, where the average temperature hovers around 50 below. As an avid outdoorsman, I've always been drawn to it, so we traveled north to Fairbanks to learn this sport of kings from its master.
And meet the man, the myth, the legend.
If you're gonna dream big, right?
4-time Iditarod champion, Lance Mackey.
Pleasure to meet you, man. Thank you for taking the time out, showing us around the spot.
Yeah, it was my little domain. There's 5 people and about 115 dogs.
115 pups?
Well, dogs, pups, retired dogs, they're all dogs if they eat, right?
Mackey comes from a long line of champion mushers and is considered by many to be the Lance Armstrong of sled dog racing.
Lance Mackey, everybody!
I don't claim to be any better than anybody in this sport, but for some reason I've had more success in a shorter amount of time than anybody in this sport. Whether it's natural abilities or something I've picked up along the way, I really can't answer that question.
Like Armstrong, Mackey's greatest victory took place off the trail. In 2001, at the age of 30, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, and doctors told him to quit the sport altogether.
That just didn't sit right with me. Like, you don't know me, you don't tell me what I can and can't do, and it just pissed me off. And that was my motivation.
You didn't have time for cancer.
I didn't have time for it, exactly.
With treatment and the love of his family, he defeated cancer and has been unstoppable ever since. The key to success in this sport is the relationship between a musher and his team.
Every dog loves to run, and it's up to me to figure out how to channel that energy and get it to perform for 1,000 miles. Come on.
That means spending up to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week caring for them, which includes cooking.
Smells a little right, but these dogs all know it's coming on.
Feeding.
Some good eating right there.
Beef, chicken, kibble, a little bit of vitamins and minerals, all the stuff for a balanced diet.
And cleaning up.
Pretty simple, you just walk around the truck, make sure everybody's clean.
It's all part of teamwork.
With a kennel full of well-fed and excited dogs, we picked 6 pups for my inaugural run.
Come here, baby girl. Good girl. You wanna go for a walk? So this is my team right here. They look pretty ready to run. I'm just hoping not to fail them as a musher. But we're going out for the real deal now. You wanna give me some pointers?
The #1 rule in this sport. You get ripped off the sled, that's one thing, but you don't let go.
No, I got it.
So hopefully we won't have that problem.
I took those last words of wisdom from the champ and finally commanded the reins of my very own sled.
Good work, boy. Good work, girls.
It was a rough start. But after a couple runs, Cowgirl, Larry, Hershey, Sharky, Princess, and Palin
Wow. This is about as amazing as it gets.
made me feel like a true Iditarod contender.
Backcountry Alaska, running with my team of dogs. Holy cow. Oh my God. That was one of the coolest things I've ever done.
I can see why you guys don't leave. Dude, thank you again.
In the process, I learned that racing dogs is not about winning prizes or recognition. It's about the unbreakable bond between man and his true best friend.
You know, I'm never gonna be rich in this sport, but I'm rich in what I do. I was put on earth to race dogs. I honestly believe that. This is what I was made to do.
Well, I just wanted to extend a big thank you to the Alaska Board of Tourism for coordinating and accommodating us during our trip to Fairbanks. I had an incredible experience, and I absolutely understand why sled dog racing is the state sport.
You talk about being teamed up with the best of the best. I mean, as far as a world-class athlete goes, to be able to do this and to be able to come back from what he's had to endure.
Well, yeah, so 2001, he gets diagnosed with cancer. He actually had to drop out of the race, and it took him 6 years before he finally won, and then he comes back, wins it 4 years in a row, and is the only guy who's actually won the Yukon Challenge, which is a 1,000-mile race, and then the Iditarod consecutively, and they're only 2 weeks apart.
Did you ask him if he lives his life just in perpetual layers?
I mean, it's not even a question. I mean, the warmest it got, it got when we were there was -12. The coldest is -41. It's so cold you actually have to plug your car in at night, otherwise your oil freezes.
This must have been like living in New Hampshire where you make your home. It's probably like St. Bart's compared to what you're dealing with in Alaska.
My home feels super balmy right now. It's 23 degrees out. We're shirts off. Come to the surf shop. We're already open.
And what was it like for you to actually I mean, those dogs are pretty powerful. It looked like when you originally went, you almost kind of lost it a little bit.
Well, they're not super big. They look like little labs, but when they took off, when 6 of them went, the sled really pulls out in front of you, and you've got to do a lot more actually driving the sled than you'd think.
That was my next question. How much steering capability did you have as a first-time musher?
I didn't have a whole lot of steering capability per se, but Lance runs them pretty well. But they've got little runners, but you're pretty much riding that. I mean, it feels almost like a skateboard, more or less.
Can you feel your fingers yet, or what? Are you still?
They've all come back to me now. The feet were the real problem, but luckily I had a little beard to protect.
All right, Tyler McGill, super fan. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
As always. All right.